Hello, welcome to another Genekey, the third Genekey. Uh, Thank you for being part of my journey here. If you are watching this, I'm exploring the Gene Keys right now. I'm on the third one, and I'm learning about it. I'm going over this information, and if you do enjoy, um, these are all inspired by Richard Rudd. He has plenty of books on it. Um, this is just kind of where I'm at with this one. So this gene key goes into the city of innocence and the shadow of chaos, and how they go hand in hand. Something to keep in mind again with the gene keys is that the city is something that we are naturally and always connected to. It's in every moment. It's usually the shadow that manifests in our life that takes us away from the present moment. In this case, chaos takes us away from being present with the innocence. Before I do, I'm going to apply these. I've been avoiding these because I was concerned it might make me sound weird talking with these on. But I've watched a couple of my videos and I've concluded, and I can't really deny, that I sound weird anyway. So I'm just going to sound weird in a different way. So I'm going to try going further with these. And maybe it might actually come out better. Maybe I might sound better. Okay, so I'm going to try this. It's going to be weird, but maybe it's an improvement. I don't know. So, the city of innocence. Okay, this is definitely a little stranger, and it makes me even think about things differently because of how the words are coming out. Bear with me here. We find chaos emerging in our life in many ways. It's part of life. And it's interesting that they associate innocence with chaos, because they get into talking about children, which we find is the heart of innocence, and chaos kind of go hand in hand. Children tend to cause chaos, but it's not really that they're causing it. It's that they're embracing it. And that's exactly kind of the gift of innovation, how we bridge what they do naturally is kind of what teaches us what we need to do. See, one of the things they get into is that life is constantly mutating. They use the word mutating, which I thought was interesting, other than changing. But life is constantly mutating, and things happen, that takes us away. When chaos becomes difficult, we can find ourselves becoming serious and hardened, or now here's an interesting thing with chaos, is that it's usually considered as or equated with disorder, as they mention here. Originally, it was considered as a primordial space originating. So that means that anything that we would begin, anything new that we initiate, starts with chaos. And as we embrace this new initiation, this new venture, This, as we take on chaos in our life, we bring order, we grow, we aspire. And here's a verse here. In order to evolve, a human being must embrace chaos rather than try to protect against it. Chaos can be fearful. It's out of our control. In the old views, we humans are the victims of our selfish genes. In the new view, there are no victims, only a huge, interconnected, and interdependent cosmos. Well, that really dissolves the line or boundary that we are actually still part of we are the children of the cosmos. The universe has evolved to the point of our existence, how that journey may have looked like. Here we are. And it took a lot of things to happen in the right way for this to happen. And I'd say that in a way that it was all beyond our doing. And the things in our life is also beyond what our doing is. It's just how we embrace being part of life, as children do. They might appear to cause chaos, but they're embracing it, and they are growing with it. They adapt with it. They become part of it and grow through it, and it brings out new things. And I think that's kind of what is being implied through the gift of innovation. What and wherever you are, if you are not continually transcending, then you are dying. So there's an old also idea that because life is constantly changing, or in this case mutating, so are we. This world is in constant flux, and when we become stagnant, when we don't allow ourselves to change, there are all kinds of things that will build up or be blocked, or we like a river filled, flowing well, and when you have too many rocks in the river, it can change the river. It can stop the flow. And when the river stops flowing, well, that's kind of where the river dies. It becomes something else. And that's a whole other thing. But in this case, we want to connect to innocence, because there's an aspect to that is in every moment. It is part of the present moment, is innocence. It's part of the source. It's part of the original, that when we let things be that are part of the shadows that take us away from being. The human body itself is a prime example of the direction that humanity is moving. Our body evolved from single-celled amoebas, responding to their environment. Not a single cell within our body can afford to be selfish, or we would die. Life, spontaneously discovered in its innocence, that's the easiest way to keep evolving, was to integrate all those competing individual cells into a single body. One thing is certain: consciousness will never grow up. It will keep on exploring, playing, and experimenting forever. I guess there's something about that idea of something forever. You know, when we think about that, you know, it makes death brings this idea of limitation. We only have so much, whatever that might be. And to some degree, we face that with every moment, that every second that the moment is passing, the day that we have is going to come to an end. What did we make of our day? Was it the same as yesterday? Did we grow? Did we explore something new? It's an interesting combination. Innovation implies cooperation by its very nature. In order to mutate life to a higher order, you must integrate and synthesize. The path of innovation broadly means to improve something through the introduction of a new element or elements. So this is a very interesting gene key, I find. I'm definitely going to ponder about this more and go into this further. But there's something about that where when we find ourselves where chaos has emerged in our life and we're struggling, or there's too many things going on around us that we don't know how to bring order to everything. Perhaps the first thing to do is not look at the chaos as our obstacle, as our, opposition, but something that is forging us, something a part of us. Externally, it might be around us externally or internally, but it is part of our making, part of who we are becoming. And when we embrace that, it can spark perhaps some degree of innovation within us. That we are welcoming the chaos for something greater to emerge. And there's a level of play that is encouraged when dealing with chaos. It's not something to be serious about. It's something to become light with, so we can allow the river to keep flowing, the life to keep changing, and us to keep changing and to grow with life. So, I think that's the most I'm getting from this gene key at the moment, that I feel I'm at, that I can gather now. I know that there's a lot to each of these gene keys to contemplate and explore, but in every moment, innocence is part of being present, and chaos will take us out of that, and it's befriending chaos and playing with chaos that can bring us back above it, and maybe help us learn and grow along the way. Again, my apologies with anything of how I might sound. I know it's probably a little it's difficult for me talking, but the other videos I've seen doesn't. Perhaps this is an improvement. Anyways, thank you for being part of my journey here and taking the time to explore this information with me. I hope that it has brought some wisdom to you on your journey as well. Till next time.